part of something. It's something big. Because Benfica is more than just football. It's more than just soccer.
I'll start this motherfucker off.
Listen, everyone, this is the new channel, Benfica After 90.
A gente tem futebol melhor, país melhor. Abraço a todos, viva Benfica, viva Portugal.
Sorry.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Right before we
done this in a while, so you gotta give me a break.
It's all good. We're about to go live, and Dylan's so excited. He has been on for ages, man. How you doing, buddy?
No. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited. Actually, you know what? I'm drinking a little black and white blended Scotch whiskey because I don't know why. It's Friday night, Saturday night, so I'm feeling loose. I'm happy. Benfica got a W. I'm back with Alex. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I found out he wears glasses today. I'm back with Mario, man. So it's good, right? I haven't been in the scene for a long time, so I appreciate being back on. I thought Luis might have wanted to continue going, but he said he was going to take the backseat today, so I'm back in, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be back in. Even though it's a frustrating win, I'm back to be back. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, we got some exciting updates for Luigi at the end of the show. But yeah, Alex, you do look good with those glasses, man. He lives out in California, close to Silicon Valley, man. That's a must. You gotta have.
You gotta have those glasses.
You gotta play the part, man. You gotta play the part.
You gotta see. And by the end of the season, he's gonna be in a black turtleneck, fully shaved face.
Black turtleneck, fully shaved face, just working IT the whole day.
IT. He's gonna have an.
If we play like we played it again today, then yeah, that might be. I might wear black for the rest of the season.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about like kicking off the New Year's. Hey, happy New Year's, everyone. But yeah, man, we 3 points, but just damn.
Nah, you know what though? Like I wasn't expecting like Benfica to come out like and just be score 4 or 5 goals today. You know what I mean? Like these breaks, like it's so many of them this season. You know, it feels like we're gonna have another break soon, almost. You know what I mean? Isn't there a national football team coming? Like, is there gonna be another break? I don't know. It feels like there is every fucking other month. It's a break. It's Christmas break. It's fucking. We got to take all these breaks. So like, I wasn't expecting. This grand performance where everyone's fluid and everyone's ready to go. You know what I mean? They got to get the rest off a little bit. Guimarães is playing it in Guimarães, like playing in that stadium, bro. I told you guys in our chat, man. Like I'm sometimes more scared of Guimarães fans than I am of Porto fans. You know what I mean? Porto fans just talk a lot. Guimarães just talk a lot and throw fucking chairs across the aisles. You know what I mean? They don't move around. I was thinking too, like when you throw your chair, like that is commitment because you ain't sitting down for the rest of the fucking match.
So true.
Like when you throw that chair, like that's it. Like you have committed.
Yeah.
Stand
if you've had one too many, and partway through the game you go to like sit down, you're like, hey, my boku.
I just wanted to say that because I'm like, man, these guys throw these chairs, you know what I mean? Like, what if they want to sit down? Halftime comes, you want to take a seat, you don't have a seat because it's on the pitch. But I thought it was funny, man. They're crazy, they're passionate fans. But it's not easy to win up there. You know what I mean? They always give the big three fits. They always play the big three well. I'm happy with a win, especially coming off this break. We got things in the future like to look forward to. So this performance doesn't.
No,
it wasn't like
the last 5. I think they hadn't lost. They always won and drew one game. I think that was the last 5. The commentator was saying. But yeah, that tells you something about the team right there, right? Just I haven't been keeping up too much. I don't know, but if any team that's last 5 has drawn one game, that tells you something, right? So
and in that stadium,
yeah, you're right, completely.
It's tough, man.
Tough environment.
So Benfica went in. Got to get the rest off. if they got, I prefer to get the rust off with a win than to get the rust off with the L. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
So
Should I
I
jump
wasn't
into
not too mad about
the starting 11?
yeah.
Yeah, so I got it set up a little differently this time. Trying to play around with the lineups a bit. So we got Odysseus, Grimaldo, Ferro, Ruben Diaz, Thomas Tavares, Servi Tarrat, Gabriel, Pizzi, Vinicius, and Chiquinho. So those are our main 11. I also got the goal point because I know people do get a kick out of the stats and all the fun stuff. So what I'll do first is just before I even kick off the goal point, I don't think there's any surprises there. No one expected Weigl to really play. He just signed.
How do we say his name? What is it? Is it Weigl?
Weigl.
It can't be Weigl, bro. That's too white. You too white to say. That gotta be something else.
Well, it's probably Weigl.
He's German. You gotta throw that oomph into it. You know?
Yeah, you gotta. Weigl should pass the ball. Right now he's watching the game and he's watching like Guimaraes tag. He's like 9-9-9-9. You'll see when I'm on the pitch.
The fans, fans, bro, throwing torches.
I love that graphic right there. I love that starting lineup right there.
You like it, buddy? That's awesome. That's
classy.
I could switch up anyone on the lineup also. I'm just taking a peek. I'm at my family's house here. But yeah, actually, you know what? This is the first time I've set up this lineup. What I'll do real quickly here. This is me like having fun. Is I can go.
You know what though, too, Mario? My bad. Like now that we're looking at that lineup, there's talking about the game. Like I was already like thinking of where Weigel's going. You know?
Yeah.
Like where's he going? What spot's he taking? Whose spot is he taking?
Oh, dude. That is a tough question.
It's actually kind of easy for me today.
You think so?
We'll talk about it later. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm curious about that one.
About it when we get into it.
That'll be good. Okay. So let me talk. I'm gonna toss up the goal point real quickly. Let's get the stats out. Not pretty stats. A little bit. There we go. Boom. So basically, what we're looking at here is our main player. They say Tarat was our main player, which kind of surprised me. 6.8. I don't expect very high from overall. They gave Vinicius a 6.6.
They gave Tarat the 6.8.
Yeah, they weren't. They gave the Pep.
Tap wasn't garbage, man. Tap wasn't garbage.
No, he wasn't garbage. He was okay. But it goes to like I don't think there's many.
Like who are you gonna say that's better? Like let's just talk about it right now.
I thought Gabriel was much better than Tarat.
No, I would say Gabriel was good, but I think Tarat on the defensive end was probably a little bit better than Gabriel was.
And okay, so since you said that, Dylan, you're gonna make my point here.
Negro, can you wait till we talk about Vigo?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. 9-9-9-9.
Tarat is odd man out. Because if Tarat is winning these games because he's on his defense, well, Weigel's a better defender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a much better defender. He's
I don't
younger.
think anyone, but no one here is arguing that. I don't think.
No, I know. That's why. I'm.
It's just interesting to see who it's going to be. Yeah.
That's my thing. I think it's easy if that's the case. If that's the argument, that why Tarat got the better. He was a better performance today. I mean, Gabriel's he's our defensive mid. I mean, kinda.
Well, no, he's an 8. He's an 8. He's more box to box than he is.
Well, then Tarat is not. If he's our defensive mid, then it's making it even easier for me. Weigel's going to be.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But then, where do you put Chiquinho after Chiquinho's performance today?
There.
Really?
Oh no! Oh yeah! No! You're right. We've been complaining about Chiquinho for a while now.
Chiquinho looked really bad today.
He's not taking opportunities. Yeah, he's not taking opportunities he's supposed to. He got a 4.4. Jesus Christ!
Bro, like that's trash.
And Vinicius was a no-show today too. But like I said, it's not panic.
It's a tough game, but it might just been I haven't been following too much, but Chiquinho today and Vinicius looked way whack, bro. Lost. Even PC has some good chances, but in the beginning of the game, there were some stretches where it was like him running, and you could just see like he needed more gas in the tank. He just looked tired. I'm not gonna say bad. He just looked tired. I think we can attribute to the poor performances to the break. I would say no one got a 7, bro. No one got a 7, bro.
Yeah, no, you had guys like Guimaraes. You had the 7.
One guy.
Okay, Guimaraes. Yeah.
Midfielder. It was good. You know what? Credit to their midfield, bro.
Oh, they hustled. They hustled.
We scored, but that whole half and game basically was stagnant. Like the midfield was like there was no real battle for the midfield. It just looked like Guimarães had dominated the whole. What was the percentage anyway? I feel like they had. More
Yeah, let's get the
percentage
I'll get the match
you know?
stats up here for everyone to see.
Davidson and Tomas Tavares were going at it all.
Bro.
It was actually fun
So
to watch.
first
It
half,
was.
I remember
It was.
the first half it was actually inverse. I think Guimarães had just a tiny bit more possession, but very tight back and forth. Man, the shots though, look at the disparity. We each took 4 shots on target, but the 12 shots to 6, man, they were trying. That's what we were feeling. They were just going for it.
No, they were going. They weren't. They're at home. They're comfortable. They know the
Yeah.
stadium. They know they're comfortable playing at home. But man, it just felt like whenever we tried to string up 2-3 passes, they had a guy in the way, or we just couldn't complete that extra pass. It was just a frustrating game because I don't think there was like maybe one clear chance where I think Peasy was like going to score and then the keeper saved it. Hell of a save, by the way. But I
Yeah.
think there was no other clear-cut chance other than that. Servy's goal, I'm not even going to count because whatever, it was a goal. But other than that, it was nothing concrete.
Yeah, I did. I'll be honest. I was really impressed by Survey today. He was hustling both on the offensive and the defensive side. Man, that guy was a workhorse. I got to give that guy.
That's definitely a trait that he has. And sometimes he just runs and runs, and we're like, where the hell are you running? But like
Today he
sometimes
was
runs
really
around,
hustling.
he
Like
was
today,
running for a
he
point. Like,
he was trying to
actually
like push the play up. He was trying to do
He was
something.
making moves.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It felt like a lot of people were still under that New Year's celebration kind of thing, right? They
Bro,
kind
those guys had Christmas food, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's. They had all that food in them still. You know, like
it's true.
It's tough, right?
It's true, man. It's true.
But-
But it's still a win, and you have to. And the way I watched the game today was with the possibility of putting Weigl in, and the possibility of a guy like, and I know we're moving ahead too far, but a guy like Bruno Guimarães, who's rumored to come to Benfica. I mean, if you're gonna play, I mean, I think if this is the performance, it's gonna make Bruno Lage's job very easy to pick his starting lineup moving forward. It's gonna take a while, but I guarantee you put $40 million into your midfield. You know what I mean?
It's getting
Gabriel
used.
Tarap. Right, exactly.
You're on
Gabriel
notice.
Tarap are expendable. You're looking at Gabriel's an $8 million player, and Tarap, who's a free player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If anything, we've put more money into him than he's put into us. If you think about it. And I'm not disparaging him, but like, I don't know. Man.
The honest truth
Be
is,
our midfielder. I think if you're gonna be our midfielder though, like, it just wasn't fluid today. It can't always be on Peasy, and I agree with Luis today. He was bad and slow, and he had no ideas. And the only person to me who was stringing anything together was Gabriel. Gabriel had some amazing passes today. You know what I mean? And if that's coming from Gabriel and Tarap is playing defense, well, I'd rather have Julian Weigl play defense if that's the case.
yeah, Tarap did have some again, like he always does, some
But
beautiful
it's one of those
passes
games,
also.
like,
It's a funny
I
game
know
across the board.
It's one of those games where, yeah, I know Tarap didn't show up offensively, he did show up defensively, right? But I mean, if you're looking at the squad now with the players you had, yeah, that's the 11 you want to go with, right? You can't deny it. Like, who are you gonna put instead of Tarap at the moment, right? You're gonna bet on him. But now with yeah, of course, I'd love to have Weigl, whatever, on the team right now, right? Like, I think the contrast between him and Gabriel might work, right? But the something about Chiquinho has to be said because creation was not there today.
Yes,
No creation,
yes, correct,
so
yeah.
Defense was there, great, but what about creating? I think there was something lacking there with the Chiquinho, maybe Vinicius side over there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? To be honest, like, if I'm being frank, like, if there was another person I'd like to see where Tarap plays, it would be Jedson. Because the only time Jedson plays, he's out of position. He plays on the right wing where PZ is. Like, Jetson's a midfielder.
Jedson thrives in a 4-3-3.
Yeah, but also he thrives in being able to be in the middle of the pitch and being able to make decisions. You know what I mean? Stick him over on the right, you cut half the field off for him. He's not a right winger.
He likes to be in the middle. He's a free floater player, man. You just put him in there, let him do his work. But
Let him do his work.
But it works when there's two other guys in the midfield with him. When he's by himself, we've seen him by himself in the midfield. It's not the same production that he does when there's two other guys like a DM and another number 8.
I haven't seen him in the middle of the season once.
Right.
Not this season.
Okay.
Not this season.
So
once. Not
I just quickly did this. I'm doing it live right now, but I just quickly.
I'm just saying, if there was somebody else, it'd be Jetson, and now he's rumored to be leaving as well. Like, it's just.
Well,
I think we have a lot more quality than. I don't know.
Where we going? So you say going forward, you'd be a Jetson over Tarap? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying if there was another you said like this is the one you want. I mean, if I was just playing with the lineup, I'd have put Jetson in a long time ago.
I would have taken out Chiquinho. I mean, Chiquinho was next to nothing.
That's a good one.
Make
too.
that. Try that out.
Maybe I'm
right?
picking on the wrong guy. Maybe I'm picking on the wrong guy today. You know what I mean? Maybe you're right. Maybe it is.
No, but I
Chiquinho.
see your issue with Tarap. I can understand that because the dude, you expect a certain level of him on the offensive end, and you getting him in the defensive end. Well, in that case, let me throw in someone else. But you also got to look at the guy that's supposed to create, and he literally didn't create anything. He didn't bring anything. Chiquinho.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Actually, great point. That's actually
probably the guy we should definitely focus on. Is if we're gonna play with a guy who's not really a striker, but is playing as a secondary striker to create for the striker, and he's not creating, then we got an issue moving forward as a club in terms of goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I'm just playing around with the lineup here, goofing off while you guys are talking. So basically, second half, we kind of see a series of substitutions later on, which is.
Bro, you playing Connect the Puzzles?
Yeah, Connect Puzzles. You got a lag time on your screen. It's the puzzle. Yeah, shit's bouncing around funny. Yeah, I'm playing. I'm like, wait a second. I'm trying to get it to load live, and it's not working well. But so we brought out Vinicius for Seferovic, right? And then Samatis for Chiquinho. Or other way around, Chiquinho left for Samatis, and then Jetson for Pizzi. So we pretty much went to this 4-3-3 kind of formation, it felt like. Jetson was only there for the dying minutes. I hate these very last secondary minutes kind of thing.
Pisses me off when the team was so damn stagnant, man.
Yeah, he should have done the substitutions earlier, in my opinion. Maybe he was just worried. But my thing, when we go back to, not to go back to the Weigl, but, you got him in here, and you start kind of going, I could foresee Chiquinho being the man that gets sacrificed.
Yeah,
if he doesn't prove to him what he can be, right? Because we have seen what he can be, and if he can't do that consistently,
yeah.
But now you're talking about Tarap as a second striker. We've seen that. That doesn't work.
No, not Tarap as a second striker, but in the 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah. Oh, now okay. Well,
that's what I'm saying. So see this formation you're staring at right now. Take away Samatis for Weigl. You have those three, Gabriel, Tarap, and Weigl in the middle. Obviously, Vinicius instead of Seferovic and Pizzi instead of Jetson. And that's pretty much our main 11 here. I can even just put it right now up on the board for everyone to see. It just takes 2 seconds.
I still think that extra man I'm just biased to a 4-4-2. I just think that's our thing.
Yeah, I love the 4-4-2.
I still think that if you're gonna put Weigl instead of Samaris, I would much rather have, because Weigl can still go up and get rid of Tarap, get rid of Samaris, play Weigl and Gabriel, and let those two go to work and see what happens, and put another striker in. Get someone else to play alongside Vinicius. Vinicius by himself, sure, like it's fine. He can hold the ball. I haven't been seeing too much. So I can't really talk. But what I have seen in the past and now, I think still Vinicius by himself isn't quite the answer.
Yeah.
Instead of a loaded midfield, unless your midfielders are good, like we're playing Portuguese league. Why are we playing with so many midfielders? Let's get some goal scoring going on.
But that goes. We're gonna see once the time starts. It kind of goes to the argument of why do you spend this much money on the midfield when you already got this much money in the midfield?
Well, but then here's
how much money do we have in the midfield?
Gabriel's a decent signing.
$8 million.
No, but he's on a main salary. Same with Tarap. We renewed his contract recently, right?
Tarap's making potato chips.
He was one of the biggest paid players a while ago.
What?
When we first signed him, he had a huge contract. He was up there.
Oh, not in his renewal though. He's no way he's a
no. He took a pay cut.
He took a slight cut also.
Luis brings up a good point though. He says Tarap is out next game. It's going to force a change. So yeah,
that gives Weigl the chance. Yeah.
It goes Weigl the chance to play. Right?
Weigl.
So, I'm gonna start calling him fucking Hitler because the first German player we've had since like God knows when.
I'm definitely not calling him that.
Oh God. Oh God.
But Hitler wasn't even German. I don't know why I said that. I fucked up, bro.
Damn Austrians.
Damn Austrians, bro. but no, I mean this game specifically, bro. There was definitely a lot of like just nothing going on. There was just a bunch of zero happening in the midfield. There was a bunch of zero happening up front. And defending, there was a bunch of defending going on. So like it was just a boring game altogether today. I thought Guimarães did well. I think if you're a Guimarães fan, you're looking at this game and you're going, well, we should have won this game.
Oh man, they're tight. I gotta say, to me,
Odysseus, does he get MVP? Fuck,
yeah,
guy
man,
made a mistake, made a save, a hell of a save.
that double save was something else, man. That
He
is.
made a mistake. He made a mistake, and then he recovered with that cat-like reflex, and you're like, oh shit.
That to me is the play of the match right there. It's skipping ahead, but damn, like that back-to-back that he dives up and jumps up and gets it a second time. Yeah, they had plentiful chances. You know, I'll pop up the stats one more time for the people to see. But like, you look how many shots they got, a lot of opportunities. The guy, our fullbacks got beat a lot. Like Thomas Tavares, like I like him.
I think Tavares got Davidson probably got the best out of him.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
like
won, but I feel
he had like this. It was a weird game for me. It was like the most bipolar game I've seen at Tavares, where one moment watching when he does a sick play, you're like, whoa, this guy's sick. I love this kid. Oh my god, can't touch a fazer. This is horrible. And then it's like back all game. Like it's like he was at one.
Andre Almeida, sick.
Yeah, it's like no kidding. But it was like more like rap. Like Andre Almeida's like he goes through like spurts. Good for like a few minutes. Bad for like this guy was like on off all game. Like just no consistency. It was crazy.
Know what, too, though? Maybe Gabriel is the odd man out.
Whoa, hey now. Why?
Midfield was rough, man. I gotta say, no, it was rough. I would.
Wait, odd man out. Hold on, I'm trying to get his explanation for odd man out. Well, I'm gonna pour this whiskey because we fighting tonight now.
Right. No, I like Gabriel. I just like somebody's gotta take a seat, right?
Right.
But Optus seems like he's just in favor. Even if I don't, or
we don't see it.
Think like he's performing. If we don't see it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We're biased. Bruno Lage definitely sees it. You know what I mean? Bruno Lage definitely sees it. He handpicked this guy, from the B team and brought him all the way up. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward. Who's going to be, the musical chairs, if you will.
Right.
But I think it's a great problem to have.
Well, what's going on with RDT? What's up with that drama? Is there? I mean, like, what's up with?
No,
that?
I think it's a case of. I'll be honest.
Does he got the jitters? Is he afraid of the Portuguese league? Like, what's going on here?
I'm having a hard time with the guy because to me it's like a friendlier case. Remember last year, Ferreira and Castillo, and you're kind of like fuck these guys kind of thing. Like Ferreira never took a shot. Castillo had a piss poor attitude, and at the end, neither of them did much. Like I feel like RDT hustles. He tries, and it sounds terrible to say he tries, but just it's not working. And it's just unfortunate because
we splashed what 20 mil on him.
Yeah, we spent big money on him, right? And
yeah, that's not a joke, man.
Yeah, and that's the case. Like this season, we've signed, quite a bit. We signed between between Vigil, between RDT, between potential Bruno Guimarães. Yeah, Vinicius. Chiquinho,
some good money.
Kyle Lucas. We spent about 100 million or so is what we've spent so far. If we get this Bruno Guimarães. Yeah. If we don't, like he's supposedly around the 24 million or whatever the heck the amount is, right? So we have spent decent coin this season. That's been my only gripe. Like I'm interested in these guys that we're signing. Like don't get me wrong. Like I think Vinicius is working out great, but it's kind of like I almost feel like it's like a shotgun approach. And Luis Vieira has historically been known for that. Like he's done it countless times. It's like, we need a midfielder. It's like, we got 60 million to spend. Okay, let's buy 4 midfielders. Instead of spending 60 on a midfield, let's buy 4 of them, right? Like he tends to want to. I don't know.
Midfielders are they're easier money than a striker.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna hit on a midfielder a lot more than you're gonna hit. I mean, to me, on strikers.
Yeah.
A quality striker, they don't fucking grow on trees. You know what I mean? Like. It takes a special dude to be top tier. It takes Jonas type person, Cardozo type person to be. And I'm not comparing any of these guys to them. I'm saying like to become that ultimate striker. I mean, you have to have that in you, right? And I'm not saying that Carlos Vinicius doesn't, but it's much easier to have a midfielder out there and maestro and pass. You know what I mean? To come up on a goal every now and then. When a striker's only job is to score goals and he doesn't score goals. Well, shit.
He can't do it. He can't do it. Exactly. Like if RDT's job, like if he was distributing the ball great and he can rework him to an attacking mid or something like that. But even then, like you look at Pizzi, Rafa, Servi, like Servi's putting RDT to shame. Like everyone that's like, fuck, Chiquinho's the only one, but Chiquinho gets forgiven because he's providing a lot of support and this and that, and he's playing that secondary role. But I think that's why that's the biggest opportunity potentially for us switching to a 4-3-3. Is I think Shakingo is the weakest link. He's decent, but I don't think he's good enough. And that's where I feel like he might try, because Tarat he's stated before publicly.
Tarat's great. He's steady in the he makes his passes.
But he likes to play.
He
He likes to move forward. He loves to move forward. He's not the best defensively. If you told me we're going to keep not two defensive. We're going to keep only two midfielders. Today we're going to stick with the 4-4-2. Only two midfielders. Tarat's on the bench. It's Gabriel and Weigl. That's what I'm going to go with. Because
you know what? I'm gonna change my mind.
God damn, you worse than my girlfriend. Continue.
I know. I'm just thinking about it. Like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna sit down Gabriel.
You think so?
And yeah, and the reason is because even though Tarap is not as consistent as we want him to be, or maybe we're looking at it as in a different pair of glasses. Maybe I need to take these glasses off.
Yeah, no, keep the glasses.
But you know, Gabriel has been a player who's never been, like, I don't want to say disciplined for poor play, but he's never been sat down for his inconsistent play. He's not played very well since he came back from
injury,
and he's like he's one of those guys who's like, he's a step away from a red card every game. You know what I mean? Like, he's very ferocious, he's very aggressive, and I love that. But sometimes, like, he does, like his yellow card today, like easily 1 second later, like a half a second later, that's a red card. You know what I mean? Like, he came from the way he came in, it could have been a red card. I'm just saying, like, 1 second later, right? He's always so close to just getting sent off. And you know, we've seen it happen on the fluke before, maybe on a bad call before. But he's good for a yellow a game. But even though he's only had 2 yellows this season, I can't even believe it. It's so crazy, but for me,
but you
switch out Gabriel for Tarat.
But you're saying the comment you just said there. It's like he's ferocious. He goes in with these crazy tackles. He's always so close to the card, but he rarely ever gets carded. Whereas Tarat, he's gotten carded a shitload of times. I feel like when Tarat goes for a tackle, he's like more reckless. Like Gabriel, it's like, whoa, that was a vicious tackle. But he, like, once he sees that ball, he's like, I'm gonna jump for that. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to take you down with it, and I'm getting that ball. Or he knows enough to, like, if he's about to hit the player, to try to curve his body. So, yeah, he still does impact to the player, but doesn't look as ferocious. It's funny. Right. He has this way with but at the same time, we're talking more, that's the role of the defensive mid. That's what Weigl is. And maybe you're right, Alex. Maybe it is, to Gabriel, because Tarap is better offensively, in my opinion. So maybe that's the case if we're going to go with the true setup. All we know for a fact, Luis said it in the chat, was Tarap's gone. He ain't playing next game. It's a good opportunity for Weigl to jump in, right? He can jump in. He can.
Assuming he's ready to start playing.
Yeah, we're facing a manageable side. Yeah.
Assuming it won't be a Jedson.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's the rumors. We're trying to also we haven't been playing Jetson that often, and also we're trying to advertise him because we got to offload someone, right? I want to quickly. Do you mind if I jump to that decade bit a little bit for like 2 seconds, then we'll go to the Sharissa match, or do you want to do Sharissa match first?
Yeah, do it.
No. Do you?
Okay, cool. So we, for those who follow the channel, a few days back we had the New Year's, clearly. So happy New Year's, everyone. Between us at BA90, and it didn't even work out well with the cameras. I have to readjust the cameras. They're a little funny. Oh well.
And
Louise. Sorry, I'm just staring at my camera here because it's a little funny. But we did a 2-part series, one on our channel. You can catch part 1 on our channel. We talk about the memories.
Fantastic, boys. Honestly, fantastic. I saw both, sat down, watched everything. Fucking great job.
Yeah.
Although I fucking argue with your 11 of the decade. Great show. Like honestly, like watching that brought back, like, I don't want to say jitters. I'm not fag, but like, it was like this excitement. Like, you guys were like really into it. Like, it was a really well done show. I was really happy to watch it and proud. Like, you guys did really. That was awesome.
It worked out great, and like the first part on our channel is all about like the memories. We all agreed that Zebu game with that goal from Rodrigo was like one of those moments of the decade, just an outstanding game. The part 2, which I had a blast, man. That part 2 was amazing. We talked about like the top goal scorers of the decade. So here's like the list of top goal scorers. That was fun.
Some of those names on it, though, I was just like, oh.
It's crazy to see, like, Salvio's like the 5th best for the entire decade. Like, you don't expect
even
it.
Cardozo, I wasn't expecting Cardozo to be number 2, to be honest.
Because he was the guy from the previous decade. He killed it. He killed it
half
both
and half,
decades.
right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, right? I was like,
The guy's a monster.
But then you saw that drop off from Jonas to Jonas to Cardozo, and I was like, holy Jesus, goddamn, that's a crazy. Look at that. Even I think Jimenez for me was a surprise.
I was surprised he made it. Yeah.
Top 10.
It's close.
Even
like
Seferovic, that season was so spectacular that like it just put him top 10.
Yeah, just slightly below all this, there's I think it's I'm blanking out. What's his name now? Rafa. Rafa's closing in on it a little bit, but decade's up, man. He missed his chance. All those injuries he had, right? And he had a slow start.
Right.
And then the funniest part, which is the 11 of the decade here. Let me hide this bad boy. There we go, perfect. So that's the 11 we kind of had between myself, Alex, and Luigi. A little debate. We basically just did it simple democracy style. Majority wins. And so we
look more like some fascist shit going on. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
Tomorrow on Luigi's show, he has one on Sunday. We'll preview at the end of our show today. We're gonna go a little bit more into like this 11. I tell you though, man, that idea, that Cardozo Jonas combo with Pizzi, Enzo Perez providing support. You got those guys on the wing, Luizão, Garaway, Grimaldo, Samid. You got, I didn't include the bench. The bench was, if I recall correctly, it was Rodrigo, João Felix, and Witzel, right? Axel Witzel. I think that's what we, and that was a wild, absolutely wild game. Not game, but a show to do. And just in my imagination, the idea of these guys playing together is just, whew. That's what we're trying to build up again, right? We're trying to get that.
In all honesty, where does this team get you? Let's be real with ourselves. Where does this team get you? Champions League.
I think this.
Be honest,
everybody in their prime.
Everybody in their prime.
At Benfica this decade.
Benfica prime. You think we go to the final?
Depending on the season. Yeah, well, you think
no. We don't take Real Madrid.
No. It depends on the year. So let's say you look at the.
We take today's Real Madrid, right? So we took this team this year into the Champions League.
Today, I'd be Real Madrid today.
Yeah.
Okay, but this year. But this is a new decade.
No, but if we go, let's
2013, 2014. I feel like that was a good year for everybody.
Yeah, that's good. Let's do it this way. If you go in the previous decade, because that's what this covers, you look at the people who've won the Champions League. Some monster of teams have won it. You look at the people who are runners-up. You've had Atletico Madrid a couple times runners-up. I think this team could beat Atletico Madrid. That'd be tough. Juventus, we beat Juventus in the semifinals with a weaker team. And the following year, I think, is when they went to the final of the Champions League and lost. I think this squad could get you there. And I think once you're there, it's luck. Partly it's luck if you win it or not. But I think even if you had a decade of these guys all in their prime for an entire decade,
you would win. I think you would win.
You'd feel like you'd be close to winning. Like you'd feel even if you didn't win.
Pull a JJ and make the final twice and lose both, but at least you made it.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it'd been it's a testament to the talent we've seen. It's a testament to like these players, man. And the neat thing is, you kind of look at this 11 right now. We only got 2 guys on this 11 that's current, which is Pizzi and Grimaldo. They're good, right? That are kind of still in their prime. We have them for a few more years.
Grimaldo is definitely entering his prime because that brother is only 23 or 24.
Yeah, and Pizzi's there, like 27, I think he is. 20, like he's good. He's a good age right now for an attacking mid. He's around that age, I think. I think right now with the new signing of Weigl and some of these other guys, we're getting this team. We had a period of time where we had this team which was in their mid-20s. The odd senior player, but experienced mid-20s. Yeah, not uber young, not like all new kids.
No.
And it kind of Benfica did this with the Seixal, so where they went all new kids, and it just hasn't worked out as well.
It did not work out. There was flashes, but dude, we need a little bit more.
It's okay having 1 or 2 kids, but if you look at,
you can't construct the team out of that.
Yeah, so you look at going back to that other previous one when we talk about the lineup, the idea of having like Grimaldo's now experienced.
I can't believe you guys had Salvio, bro. I need to talk to you guys. We need to sit down.
You went via the stats on that one.
We need to have conversation about this, man.
I got outvoted.
You got outvoted. He went, but he went Di Maria. He went Di Maria. Di Maria had like.
No, I don't fuck Di Maria, bro. Di Maria ain't shit but hoes and tricks. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, bro, like because when I had mine, I had Gaetan like you guys did. I had Peasy on the right, and I had Enzo and Matic in the middle. And I was like, how you guys not put Matic? I thought Matic was such a great midfielder.
He was on my bench, but I'm
Okay, so but he was on the team,
if I'm
right?
doing fantasy, yeah, he was on my 11.
Yeah, he was on my. I think it was in my. No, Phasia. I debated between Phasia and Matic.
See, I love Phasia so much, but I think Matic brings that extra. Just like
But Phasia won 5.
Phasia won 5. That's what.
And Phasia in his prime. And so all I kept thinking is like, I'll be honest. For as much shit Salvio gets, the reason why Salvio gets as much shit as he does is
because you guys said it. We got pass, shoot, pass.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, bro. Like, oh my.
Yeah.
Bro.
But he was the worst. He was the worst in his final few years.
Yeah. But
in his prime,
we fell in love with him for a reason. Everyone fell, and anyone that says they didn't fall in love with Salvio, I think you might be lying. Because when he was like the Atletico Madrid days, when he was on loan to our team, and he showed up in Europa, and you were like, "Fuck, yo, we got to get this guy. We paid 16 million, biggest transfer at the time for a player." It was like hype, you know.
And he killed it. He killed it for a bit, and then once he got hurt, then he came back, and he'd have flashes. But you think uninjured prime Salvio, because he was playing on. He played. You got to think this decade. Out of all the Benfica players,
Atletico, bro.
Not only Atletico, but even Argentina's national team. You look at how stacked that team was. In recent years.
He was playing right back
recently. But earlier in the decade, he was playing. He was the winger. He was like, there's Messi, there's Salvio, there's Di Maria. I remember for a while like that. Aymar at one point would still play for Argentina a bit, like right when we first signed him. And it's like we had this period where it was like we had the core of Argentina for a bit. And Argentina was shit, so that doesn't say much, but you know.
See, my critique of each player, it wasn't like what best 10 for Benfica. It was the 10 best players that we've had in this 10 years, right? And
you went with longevity.
And I went with where they're at now, right? Nelson Semedo's my right back because he killed it that year, and now he's playing and he's killing it in Barcelona, right?
See, that's what I would argue you. I would have argued you on that one, but anyway, continue.
Angel Di Maria, see, because Andre Almeida, I get it, but Nelson
Semedo.
No,
I would have said Maxi.
I could never say Maxi.
See, that's and hold on, Mario, before you get in with your moral. I know Mario's gonna jump. I know that's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to go to Cambridge and have a drink with him. but time out. I'm going I'm just going straight up the 3 or 4 seasons he played this decade for us. Besides the bullshit that happened, if you're talking Benfica of the decade in terms of longevity and quality, I think Maxi has to be put in the conversation. Nelson Semedo was great on the B team, and when he came in for Maxi during those injuries and he had that one season, bro, I think those are par and par. But I just think Maxi still brought, because we all fell in love with Maxi for his tenacity, his aggressiveness would set him aside from many players that Benfica has had over the years, and you can't deny that because that's a fact.
I gotta say,
because I'm not denying that.
But
he's a better football player than Nelson Semedo, and that's why.
The way I'd see, I know.
For me, who's a better football player?
That's fair.
Who's a better player?
That
was it for me. That was it. That's why Di Maria is a better football player than Salvio. He just is.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I also had if I'm not mistaken, I had in my center back. My center back was
David Luiz.
I have David Luiz.
Oh, I have Ruben Diaz, baby.
Ruben Diaz isn't bad though.
And Mario he was arguing with himself about not picking Ruben Diaz, and I get it, but David Luiz, again, he's a better footballer than they have.
But I would say that. But
at their time at Benfica, Garay or David Luiz.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And also,
I might say Garay probably better at Benfica.
I understand. Mine was these were Benfica players
that you loved in this decade that you'd want.
Yeah. Pick the best ones. This is who we had. Pick the best ones. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Boom. Here you go.
So
those are the best players.
Part of my issue here would have been, in theory, if you had this lineup right now playing for Benfica and you take away Guerrero, you put David Luiz, and they're all in their prime, as soon as the game starts, right before the game starts, you're probably all going to say, oh, fuck, our defensive mid ain't strong. David Luiz is going to run up there like a Sakana. We're going to be wide open. David Luiz was amazing.
He is and just I'm playing striker
an amazing center back. and he plays amazingly on a team with a quality center back that stays in the center, in the back of the center. Because when David Luiz decides to, because you need it when you had that defensive mid that was good. When David Luiz booked it, an amazing talent, but he got his ass covered. Where he failed throughout his career, like he's had a successful career. It's whenever they had like a weak defensive mid is when David Luiz got exposed more, right? And so then I look at it. Yeah, so I was looking at more
like defensive mid. Luis started playing defensive mid in his career. Like
at one point, he rotated back and forth between defensive mid to like.
Bro, come on, that's not you. That's not you. You're a guy that likes to defend and then take the ball up. Not a guy that always taking the ball up. That's not you.
David Luiz is the last of that Brazilian flair because Brazil's lost some of that. They've gone more pragmatic in recent years.
They're coming back slowly, but there was a few 5 years.
Wait till you guys see this kid, Bruno.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I hope this guy's legit. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Boys, I like you guys pick Grimaldo. I pick Grimaldo too, big time.
I
think there's argument for Fabio Quintão. I think there's argument. I know again with the Max situation. I'm just a guy that's the devil on everybody's shoulder. That's me right now. But I still think there's an argument for Fabio Quintão because he only left in like 2012 or some shit like that. I think there's an argument that Fabio Quintão could have been up there, but I prefer Grimaldo. He's been here longer. He's shown more success. So,
yeah.
I still think there's conversation for Fabio Quintão, though.
That was one I got voted out on. I got voted out on. I ended up picking. Go for it.
There were people in the chat that picked Fabio Quintão, along with Mario, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I picked Eliseo.
I can't remember. Eliseo. I know you guys were talking about Eliseo.
Yeah, I was Eliseo. And I picked it more for... To be honest, because I was thinking of the decade.
His love for Benfica.
That was the love. But I tell you, that guy sometimes.
You saw him ride a scooter and fell in love with him.
I tell him, man. I get him on the back of that scooter with that fedora and just wave the flag around the stadium. I'd be in heaven, man. That'd be in heaven. All right, Shorty's the match. Fun time. What do you say?
Do it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get to it. Want me to kick off, I guess, or?
Yeah.
Sure.
So for me, player of the match to me was Servi. He delivered the goal. I thought his hustle today was just amazing. I felt today we were missing that extra hustle. We were kind of a step behind the ball, and Servi kept trying to get a step ahead. And he kept pushing. And it seemed like he was trying to push the team. And he felt like a man on the pitch. I know that sounds stupid, but for a very long time I've looked at Servi as because he's a short little guy and he's a kid. He's a young guy. He's that drunk kid that won the title, but he's now been with Benfica several years. He felt like an experienced player that had the confidence to say, "Yo, we got to push forward. We got to keep doing this, man. Guys, get up. We're not doing this well. Let's push." And he just seemed today like way more just grinding it like no tomorrow. And he's a grinder, but I felt more and more of him that today. Sharice wise, I kind of feel bad giving it to the kid, but I'm just gonna say on the opposite end, Thomas Tavares, just because he was so bipolar today. There's other guys that could have warranted a Sharice. I think there's a lot of Sharice moments throughout this game, but I think for him, he'd have moments of brilliance followed up with moments of kind of like, oh my god, like we're lucky we didn't concede. And talking about almost conceding, my play of the match, Odysseus, that shot, that jump down to save it, popping up for the second shot, like that back to back. Where the ball falls in front and he got it. Like, I think the way the game was, the momentum, the way that Guimarães was honest in the second half, and the fact that Bruno Lage was not using substitutions, and he was allowing Guimarães to really put their foot down on the throttle. I feel like if we got conceded on, I don't know, man. It could have got ugly. So he kept us in there. So that's mine. Who wants to go next? Dylan?
I'll go.
Alex? Save Dylan for last, man. He's the prime gem today, man. That's why he's in the middle.
My player of the match is Odie. I'm gonna go with Odie.
Yeah,
I said he had a great game, but Odie, man, like the
amount of saves he made.
He made a lot of saves. It's not that he made a lot of saves. He makes a lot of good saves. He's smarter. He's gotten better. He's gotten better on free kicks. He's gotten better on corner kicks. Like. He's going out there. He's punching the ball. He's aggressive. Yeah. There's a play where he went out like the ball's like mid box and he just kind of pops it with his head. You know what I mean? Like the Guimarães player is right there in front of him, and he kind of sacrificed. It could have been bad. Like it could have. Yeah, he put his body out there on the line. It was a small play, but I appreciate that from the keeper. I'm gonna go with Odie, and my play of the match is Odie's save. You know what I mean?
Probably.
It has to, and that's why I'm gonna go with Odie. That's why I picked Odie as my man of the match, because that initial save, it wasn't his fault. He dropped the ball, right? It wasn't his fault. The Guimarães player got in the way, he knocked the ball out of his hands.
Mhm.
But Odie was smart enough and had the awareness to jump back up and get that ball out of there. You know what I mean? And they were pissed. You can see Evangelista was pissed. Like,
They
what
wanted,
do I have to
yeah.
do?
You
Yeah, what
gotta
do I
do
have to
score a
do? That
goal,
was
yeah.
it. That was it. Like that was their chance. You know what I mean? Their clear cut chance. And that was pretty much it for the rest of the game for them.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with Odie, man. And like Louis said, his positioning is so much better. It really is. He's just overall playing well. And I'm gonna go my Shadis of the match. I'm actually gonna go with Chiquinho again. I was coming into the game with like thinking like the show thinking it was Tarap, but thinking about it, we're looking at the stats, being unbiased. You know what I mean? Like Tarap did play well, and he deserved man of the match for the what is it called?
The yellow card he took at the end of the game.
Yeah, and then to take the yellow card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He took one for the
um,
team. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, I can't play. I'm
yeah,
tired. Let me get a break
but
next game.
but Chiquinho is just not a second striker. He's not a starter. As a matter of fact, I think Chiquinho is better served as a super sub, coming off the bench, playing with high energy, putting himself, in a position to get those cheeky goals that he was getting in the beginning of the season. But there has to be a change made, and there's change coming. There's
Yeah,
change
man.
coming. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
I'm,
fun.
I'm sorry to jump in a little bit, but
I basically everything that Alex said, I'm just gonna reiterate because as much I agree with Mario on Servi getting us the W with the goal, I still think agreeing with Alex that Odie saved us more from losing than Servi did for us winning. Play of the match. I love the cat like reflex save. I also like that save that Evangelista had where he shot it and it like was going in and he saved the short post. I think it was the beginning of the match. I can't
yeah, early
remember.
on he had a close one. Yeah.
Early on, that was a killer save because that was going in, so that was really nice. And my shorties of the match also Shikinyu, solely on what you said. The guy, he's just not coming up to the plate to play, and I think it's time we change up some things next week.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do a quick preview of the show. So Luigi just kicked off, which I've been happy to be part of. Alex been part of it, and Dylan's gonna be part of it tomorrow. It's a weekday recap for Benfica, and he talks a little bit about the match, but it's less kind of like us. We focus solely on the match and a bit of news. His is a bit of on the match and solely on the news. It's like almost the opposite, where you're talking more on everything that's going on. And he's got quite a bit. So here's a preview for this week's match. I got it.
Why Benfica? Because Benfica is a really big club with big history.
So it's good.
What a team. What a
One thing
fucking
we forgot. Number 3. No, we're done. Lima's number 3. Number 2. And this is what we play out here. We got the legend Cardozo, and this man is the only man with an asterisk on his name with the single.
All right, guys, that's it right there. So I gotta say,
Hold on.
No.
You know who Julian Vigel looks like?
Who?
Luca Magnotta. That's
Luka
fucked up.
Oh no!
Do you remember that whole thing? Have you seen the documentary on
Oh
Netflix?
god, I've actually not watched it because he killed a guy. Did he kill a guy in Waterloo, or is that the other guy that killed the guy in
No,
Waterloo?
he killed the guy in Montreal where he put
Montreal.
the video.
Oh yeah, he's a Montreal guy. Yes, we had two back to back. We had the Montreal guy, and then we had the local guy here. For those tuning in or not tuning in, or after this video's done, Yeah, he's a serial killer. We got a serial killer as a defensive mid. A
He
Canadian serial
actually
killer.
like looks more manly, but he kind of looks.
Yeah, that's fucked. I gotta.
fucked up.
Oh my god.
But, yo,
Well,
Alex, just Google Luka Magnotta on time.
yeah, mics
Yeah.
are on. Mics are on. I think is what Luis is saying. We're still talking. Yeah, I think we know we're on. He's probably like, what are you guys doing, buddy? That's hilarious. But yeah, it was great times. Thanks so much for joining us, Dylan. It was amazing.
Glad to be back, man. I don't know the next time I'll be on the show if the games are on Saturdays and during the week because I usually work on Saturdays, so
Yeah.
this could be tough. But this was definitely, it feels good to be back on and just fucking spit it out, man. It felt really good. And seeing you guys, talking to you guys is usually we're on text or whatever, so it's been good. And Alex, honestly, the Clark Kent look, keep going. It works for you, man.
Yeah, when it's a shit match, he's got the glass on, and when it's like time to get serious, takes out the glasses.
Takes out the glasses.
It helps me see into the future.
Okay.
He's got that 20/20 vision.
But that's after he smoked a little bit. Then he's really looking to the future.
I see good things. I see good things in the future for Benfica.
Oh man, it's
But
looking
if we're
good.
gonna wrap it up, I guess just make sure you check out. You see it on the screen. Check out our boys, our friends, our
out Luis,
Benfica
man.
family. Yeah, Asagias and 21 and Rabona, Benfica podcast, Mr. Benfica, Tritugas, Portugal, and Proxima Jornada. Goddamn, we need to start
There's a
asking
lot.
for some.
There's a
We
lot.
need to start asking for some. For some sponsorships here. We need to get a little
Yeah,
Nike
yeah,
check up there.
Well, yeah. If we get the Nike one, man, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
A little Nike check up there.
Yeah, I
got
understand.
Osh coming
Could you
up.
imagine we put Nike on there, we get our show fucking shut down. it's our reverse sponsorship. They shut us down for using their logo. Oh man.
It was a blast being on, and I can't wait to be on Luigi's tomorrow with you, Mario, too.
Yeah, 10
A
a.m.
little bit
Eastern
more.
time. Luigi is 3 p.m. Portugal, UK. Alex, he'll be sleeping, man. I just call it spade. If Alex wakes up, I'll be impressed. But I got a feeling he's gonna be.
No, Alex needs his rest. Let that man.
He needs to be
sleep.
asleep, man.
I'll